There are certain sensitive topics in the world, and immigration is one of them. Although illegal immigration is most prevalent in the United States, it occurs in many other nations as well. People migrate to specific countries seeking refuge from oppressive governments and hoping to start a peaceful life. It's surprising to note that people are willing to take extreme risks to enter their desired countries, even endangering their health or resorting to unconventional methods to cross the border. We invite you to explore with us the astonishing ways in which immigrants have attempted to sneak into a country. Record numbers. It is essential to emphasize that illegal immigration is not just a small group of people attempting to cross borders, but rather a massive problem with thousands or even tens of thousands of people attempting to enter countries by any means possible. In 2022, the United States recorded the highest number of illegal crossings in a fiscal year due to a surge in migration from Venezuela, Cuba, and Nicaragua in September. The political instability in Central and South America has led people to seek refuge in the US to improve their financial situation. However, the large number of people attempting to enter illegally has put pressure on Border Patrol and government entities to remain vigilant constantly. In September alone, over 200,000 people were stopped at the border, and for the entire fiscal year, Border Patrol stopped more than 2 million migrants. It's important to remember that these individuals are not bad people, and the term illegal immigrant is unfairly used to vilify them. They are merely searching for a better life and are willing to take risks to achieve it, given the flaws in the immigration system. Toolboxes. When attempting to evade Border Patrol, it's crucial to find a way into the country that they won't anticipate and that can withstand inspection. Simply crossing the border undetected is not enough to establish residence in a new country. Border Patrol search trucks for hidden individuals and are trained to inspect every nook and cranny for potential hiding spots. For instance, in El Paso, Border Patrol officers pulled over a truck and discovered individuals concealed inside toolboxes. 2 people were discovered in one of the boxes, and this method of entry is dangerous beyond the legal repercussions. The metal box could have subjected the individuals to extremely high temperatures and poor air quality, among other issues. If the Border Patrol had not found them, they could have sustained serious injuries, rendering their journey pointless. However, this is just a glimpse of the extreme measures people go to when trying to cross borders illegally. Tractor trailers. Some people try to be clever in how they transport individuals across borders illegally, but they often underestimate the dangers of where they put them, leading to fatalities. For instance, in 2017, a truck carrying 39 immigrants was pulled over and authorities found them in the trailer. Due to the heat and lack of circulation, 8 people died and 2 were hospitalized. The driver faced a life sentence for neglecting the safety of those in his care. In 2022, the deadliest incident involved illegal transportation occurring when 53 people died in the back of a tractor trailer in Texas. The air conditioning had shut off, causing the temperature to rise above 115 degrees, resulting in heat stroke and dehydration. The victims were seeking safety, but instead they suffered a slow and agonizing death. Mattresses. Earlier, I mentioned that the United States is not the only country where illegal immigration is attempted. In 2019, 2 men from North Africa attempted to enter Spain through a truck journey. However, they were caught when the truck was stopped and the Spanish patrol forces discovered them hidden inside mattresses in the cargo. The migrants had paid a human trafficker $5,100 each to attempt the crossing. The truck driver ran away when the agent asked to inspect his cargo, which only made him look more suspicious. Spain has become a popular destination for illegal immigrants seeking entry to Europe, and both immigrants and human traffickers use various methods to enter the country. While using mattresses to hide may seem like a clever idea, the migrants could have faced breathing problems depending on the type of mattresses used. Despite the risks, immigrants often attempt to enter Spain by swimming, but many fail. A suitcase. While it may seem amusing, a serious incident happened in Spain where a woman was caught trying to smuggle a young man across the border by cramming him inside a suitcase. The attempt could have been successful depending on the size and weight of the person, but the young man in this case did not have enough oxygen and was found unconscious. Fortunately, he received immediate medical attention and the woman was arrested. This is just another example of how far immigrants are willing to go to enter a new country. Being shoved inside a suitcase is a challenging feat, and the person must remain silent and hope that the smuggler is cautious enough not to harm them. It's a risky move, and in this case it almost resulted in tragedy. Stuffed. To illustrate how desperate some immigrants are to escape their situation, here's another story from Spain in 2019. Two people attempted to cross the border from Morocco by cramming themselves into a Hyundai station wagon, with one of them even stuffed into the dashboard. However, they were discovered by a heartbeat detector and had to be rescued by the police, who had to cut parts out of the car to get them out. The migrants were found to be experiencing symptoms of toxic gas exposure, such as sweating, numbness and difficulty walking due to the tightness of the space in which they were trapped. It's clear that the smugglers who transport these people across the border prioritize money over the well-being of the people they're transporting. Secret compartments. In 2022, a border patrol inspection led to the discovery of a smuggling attempt in which 17 people were found crammed into a hidden compartment in a flatbed trailer. Another 12 immigrants were also discovered in the sleeper compartment of another truck the same day. The conditions in which these people were transported were inhumane, with some being overheated and at risk of death. Despite the risks, these individuals are willing to go to great lengths to try and make it to America for a chance at a better life. It's important to understand the desperation that drives them to attempt these dangerous journeys and to show them compassion rather than mocking or belittling them. Freight train. In 2017, Germany was a popular destination for people fleeing wars in countries like Somalia, Nigeria, the Ivory Coast and Syria. Many of them trying to enter Germany from Austria, and the police discovered 12 people hiding on a freight train that was headed to Germany. While trains can be comfortable, this was a freight train and the migrants did not have a comfortable place to rest during the ride. As a result, they were very cold when they were found and one of them was so injured that they needed help walking. Even when migrants find a safe way to enter a country illegally, they are still putting themselves at risk. Fortunately, the police found them using a gadget that detects body temperature and no one was hurt. The advanced technology used by Border Patrol shows how seriously they take their job of finding people who try to enter a country illegally. Wrong way, wrong people. This is a story that has some humorous elements but is also quite sad. Two African immigrants had managed to find a way into France, with their ultimate goal being to reach Great Britain. Their plan was to break into a luggage box on top of a vehicle belonging to a British couple whom they had spotted. These boxes can be quite large and could possibly fit people if they are careful. However, things didn't quite go according to plan because the couple was not heading back to Britain, but instead were on vacation in France. So the immigrants ended up being taken further into the country. To make matters worse, when people discovered that they were transporting people in the luggage box, they became very angry. This was partially because the people thought they had only put items in the box, but there were now two humans inside. The man began yelling at the immigrants and calling them names, trying to find out what happened to their belongings. Eventually, the couple filed a complaint against the immigrants and the police were called in to handle the situation. Unfortunately, the immigrants made a mistake by assuming they knew where the couple was going, and they ended up getting even further away from their intended destination. Landing gear. This is another example of the lengths that people will go to in order to leave their country of origin. A man from Guatemala attempted to flee the country by boarding a plane bound for Miami, but not in the usual way. Instead of sneaking onto the plane through the luggage compartment or finding an empty seat, he climbed into the landing gear and held on for dear life during the 2.5-hour flight. It's important to note that riding in the landing gear is extremely dangerous. The altitude is high and the temperatures are below freezing, which can be life-threatening without proper clothing. The man was not properly dressed for the conditions and was quickly discovered when the plane landed in the United States. He was taken to the hospital for medical attention. Wooden compartment. In 2019, a truck was pulled over by an officer outside of Petite because it had an unusual wooden trailer. When the officer inspected it, he found 12 adults and 2 children cramped inside the handmade wooden compartment. It was clear that the compartment was not meant for people, as someone inside was knocking on the wood to signal for help. The officer admitted that he had never seen anything like it before. The smugglers are willing to take big risks to bring illegal immigrants across the border because of the high demand. Although the people inside were hungry, thankfully no one was seriously injured during the incident. Wood shavings. This next example of creative smuggling is sure to amaze you if the previous one didn't. Rather than building a box to transport people or sneaking them into luggage compartments, smugglers went even further by hiding an individual in a pile of wood shavings. The incident took place at a port of entry where a routine inspection of a large trailer uncovered a human hiding in a mound of wood shavings. Initially, the person almost went undetected, but a secondary inspection revealed their presence when an X-ray machine was used. The individual was taken to the hospital due to the dangers of inhaling wood shavings. While it was a clever idea to use a pile of wood shavings as a hiding spot, it could have easily resulted in another death. Fleeing the scene. This is a tragic story in which a group of people attempting to evade detection by the police were hit by a tractor-trailer, leading to injuries and potentially fatal consequences. During a routine traffic stop, several individuals fled from the vehicle, indicating they were not meant to be there. As they dispersed, some ran into the path of a truck driver who was under the influence of illegal substances. Two of the immigrants were struck by the vehicle and required hospitalization. Unfortunately, the others who had fled the scene could not be located immediately. The incident highlights the risks and dangers that immigrants face when trying to enter a new country illegally, and the unforeseen consequences that can occur even when attempting to avoid law enforcement. Stuffed again. Consider this scenario. You want to escape your country for some reason and someone offers you a guaranteed way to cross the border, but the catch is you have to hide in a concealed area of a car and pray for the best. Unfortunately, in 2016, this method proved to be disastrous. The hidden compartment was not only unsafe, but also led to their failure to cross the border. The tight space was so unbearable that the four individuals had to be rescued by the police. They were unable to extricate themselves from the compartment and had to be cut out. As a result, they were pleading to be released by the authorities to restore the sensation in their limbs. Engine. There wasn't a person concealed inside a car engine, but a man attempted to enter Spain by hiding behind one. It might sound implausible, but a photograph exists of the incident. The man managed to find enough space near the engine without succumbing to the heat. However, he wasn't the only person hiding in the car. Another immigrant was crammed into a compartment behind the rear seat. Both of them experienced oxygen deprivation and had to receive medical attention at a nearby hospital. The journey was undoubtedly very uncomfortable for them. Waste containers. As demonstrated by previous examples, individuals attempting to cross borders illegally will resort to extreme measures. Would you believe that some have even buried themselves in garbage and waste to reach their destination? This was the case for 5 individuals in Spain who were found hiding in waste containers. One person was buried under glass bottles, while another was concealed in a bag filled with toxic ash. Border authorities were able to rescue them all without any fatalities, but they emphasized the inherent danger of such methods. Breathing in the particles emitted by the trash can cause severe health problems over time. Fleeing the scene again. Recall the incident where some people managed to flee from a police inspection? Well, this time luck wasn't on the side of some immigrants in Texas. After the police pulled over a truck, 15 people suddenly bolted out of it and tried to escape, but they were all apprehended by the police. Ironically, the only person who got away was the truck driver, who somehow managed to disappear into the crowd. The fact that 15 people were crammed illegally into the truck is a clear indication of the desperation of illegal immigrants to enter the country. However, it's impressive that the police were able to capture them all before they could successfully escape. Clown car. This video showcases an instance where 20 immigrants managed to hide inside a single car, which is reminiscent of the concept of fitting an improbable number of people inside a small vehicle like in clown cars. It's truly baffling how they could manage to do so, and attempting to do the same is strongly advised against due to its inherent danger. However, this does highlight how desperate people can be to achieve their goals. Breaking and entering. In 2016, during a strike in the UK, many trucks and ferries were left stranded and unguarded. Taking advantage of the situation, illegal immigrants rushed to these places to try and board them. Their plan was to blend in with the vehicles and get through without being detected. They were hoping that when the strike ended and the trucks and ferries moved again, they would be let in without much of an issue due to the overwhelming number of vehicles needing to get in. Law enforcement officials had a hard time catching all of them, but they remained diligent in their efforts. Some illegal immigrants managed to sneak in, taking advantage of the chaos caused by the strike. It's a classic case of using a distraction to divert attention away from your own criminal activity. Car seat. Lastly, there was an attempt by an immigrant to evade the police by disguising himself as a car seat. The man was cut into a car seat frame and covered with padding, and a member of the smuggling team sat on the seat to make it appear as though nothing was amiss. Although the police were not fooled, they commended the man's effort. When discovered, the man had to be helped out of the seat. This is the final example of the many creative ways that people have attempted to enter a country illegally. Have you been surprised by the lengths that immigrants will go to enter a country illegally? Which method of entry surprised you the most? Do you know of any other unconventional methods used by people to enter a country? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to explore other interesting content on your screen, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.